Hello students, and now we are going to discuss the chapter number 6, that is analog measuring instrument, and it is there in the subject electronic measurement. So myself Vijay Hugi, lecturer in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, SJP Trust Polytechnic, Nitsoshi. So this is the last chapter in the subject electronic measurements, and it carries 45 marks, and the name of the chapter is analog measuring instrument. The chapter starts with the definition of analog instruments and the types of analog instruments. So we can define analog instruments as the deflection type instruments with a scale and movable pointer are called analog instruments. So there are different types of analog instruments here, and now we are going to discuss the different types of analog instruments. The main types of analog instruments used as voltmeters and ammeters are: first one, permanent magnet moving coil, so it is also called PMMC. Second, moving iron instrument. Third one, electrodynamometer type instrument. Fourth one, hot wire type instrument. Fifth one, thermocouple. Sixth one, induction type instrument. Seventh one, electrostatic instrument. And eighth one is rectifier. So these are what the different types of analog instruments. So now we are going to discuss the construction and working of PMMC. So that is permanent magnet moving coil meter, or it is also called D'Arsenal meter. So first we are going to discuss the construction of PMMC. So it consists of a permanent magnet. The moving coil is wound with many turns of copper wire. The coil is mounted on a rectangular aluminum former pivoted on jewel bearings. The coil moves freely in the field of permanent magnet. So as you can see here, there is a pointer and there is a permanent magnet, and a spring will be there, and there will be a moving coil. So now we are going to see the working principle of PMMC. So the PMMC meter works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, which states that whenever current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it rotates. So that is the reason, or that is the principle behind which the PMMC is going to work here. Next, when a DC current flows through the coil, the magnetic field produced by the current reacts with the field of permanent magnet. The resultant force turns the coil. The amount of deflection is proportional to the amount of current. So now we are going to discuss what are the advantages of PMMC, disadvantages of PMMC, applications and errors in PMMC. So first we are going to discuss what are the different advantages of PMMC. So first one is low power consumption. Second, there will be a uniform scale. Third one, no hysteresis loss. Fourth one, high torque to weight ratio. Then fifth one, effective eddy current damping. Sixth one, range can be extended. Seventh, no effect of stray magnetic field. And now we are going to discuss the disadvantages of PMMC. First disadvantage is it is costlier. Second, it cannot be used for AC measurements. Third one, friction and temperature might introduce errors. And fourth one is there will be a possibility of aging errors. And now we are going to discuss the different applications of PMMC. The PMMC meters can be used as first one, ammeters that can be constructed by using low shunt resistance. Second, it can be used as voltmeters, so by using high series resistance. Third one, it can be used as flux meters by eliminating spring. And fourth one, it can be used as galvanometer. And next we are going to discuss what are the errors in moving coil instrument or PMMC. The first point is the error due to weakening of permanent magnet due to aging and temperature effect. Second, weakening of spring due to aging. Third one, change of resistance of moving coil with temperature. So these are what the different errors in moving coil instrument. So next we are going to discuss moving iron instrument. So the moving iron instruments, they are basically classified into two types. So that is attraction type moving iron instrument and repulsion type moving iron instrument. So first we are going to discuss what do you mean by attraction type moving iron instrument. So as you can see in the figure shows the construction of attraction type moving iron instrument. The coil is flat and has a slot like opening. The moving iron is a flat disc. When a current flows through the coil, a magnetic field is produced. The magnetic field attracts the iron disc inside. The controlling torque is provided by the spring. The damping is provided by air friction with the help of light aluminum piston. So this is the basically the construction and working of attraction type moving iron instrument. So now we are going to see the repulsion type moving iron instrument. So in the repulsion type there are two vanes inside the coil, so one fixed and one movable. These are equally magnetized when the current flows through the coil, and there is a force of repulsion between the two vanes, resulting the movement of movable vane. There are two types here, that is radial vane type and coaxial vane type. So radial vane type, in this the vanes are radial strips of iron. The strips are placed within the coil as shown in the figure. The fixed vane is attached to the coil and the movable to the spindle. And second one is the coaxial vane type. So in this the fixed and movable vanes are sections of axial cylinders. So next we will discuss what are the errors in moving iron instrument. First one is hysteresis error, second one temperature error, third one errors by stray magnetic field, fourth one frequency errors. Now we are going to discuss what are the advantages. So first one, universal use. So that is the instrument can be used for both AC as well as DC. Second one, less friction errors. Third one, it is cheaper. Fourth one, simple construction. And fifth one, and next we are going to discuss what are the disadvantages of this type of instrument. So first disadvantage is in DC use, hysteresis causes an error. Second one, scale is not uniform. And third one, errors due to hysteresis, frequency change and stray magnetic field. So fourth one is waveform errors. So next we are going to discuss what do you mean by dynamometer and what is the working principle. So it is what? A moving coil instrument. So one of the most important AC movement is the dynamometer. It is often used in accurate AC voltmeters and ammeters. So the dynamometer uses the current under measurement to provide necessary field flux. In the above figure, a fixed coil split into two equal halves provides the magnetic field in which the movable coil rotates. The two coils halves are connected in series with the moving coil and are fed by the current under measurement. So now we are going to discuss errors in dynamometer type instrument. First one is errors due to low torque to weight ratio. Second, error due to eddy current. Third one, error due to frequency change. Fourth one, error due to external magnetic field. Fifth one, temperature errors. So now we are going to discuss the advantages of dynamometer type instrument. First one, it can be used for both AC as well as DC measurements. Second, it is free from hysteresis. Third one, there is possible to construct ammeter up to 10 ampere and voltmeter up to 600 volt. And now we are going to discuss the disadvantages. First one is low sensitivity. Second, scale is not uniform. Third one, cost is more as compared to PMMC, and fourth one is high friction losses. So next we will discuss calibration of instruments. So under this, first we are going to discuss calibration of DC emitter. Figure shows the arrangement of calibration of DC emitter. The current through the emitter to be calibrated is determined by measuring the potential difference across a standard resistor by voltmeter method and then calculating the current by Ohm's law. The result of this calculation is compared to the actual reading of the emitter being calibrated. Next, calibration of DC voltmeter. So the voltmeter to be calibrated is connected across the same 2 points as potentiometer and should there indicate the same voltage. The rheostat is placed in the circuit to control the current through the resistor R. Therefore, the drop across R so that several points on the voltmeter can be calibrated. So now we are going to discuss extending the DC emitter and voltmeter ranges. So under this, the first point is extending the DC emitter range. The range of emitter can be extended to measure high current values by using external shunt resistor connected to the basic meter movement. So usually the lowest current range. So next, extending DC voltmeter range. The range of a DC voltmeter can be extended to measure high voltages by using an external multiplier resistor as shown in the figure. However, a great care must be taken not to exceed the voltage drop required for full scale deflection of the basic movement. And next concept is a Megger. So this is very important concept in the chapter. So now we are going to discuss the working principle of a Megger. As you can see in the diagram, there will be a scale and there is a pointer and there is a generator. So the instrument used to test insulation resistance is called a Megger. So it can be used to measure resistance above 50 mega ohm. The essential parts of Megger are shown in the figure. The Megger is a portable ohmmeter with built-in high voltage source. It has two main elements, a DC generator and an ohmmeter. The generator armature is turned by hand to produce a voltage of 500 volt. It has two windings. One winding is in series with R2 and is wound on in such a way that to move a pointer towards high resistance end of scale, so that is infinity. Other winding A and resistance R1 are connected in series with the negative pole of generator. It is wound such that when current flows through it from generator, it tends to move the pointer towards the zero end of the scale. The two coils are mounted on the same shaft but at right angles to each other. Current is fed to both coils by means of flexible connections. Now we are going to discuss the advantages of Megger. The first advantage is it is used to measure high resistance. Second, it is small in size. Third one, it is simple to operate. Fourth one, it is robust. Fifth one, no external source is required. And sixth one is it is cheaper. And now we are going to discuss the disadvantages of Megger. First one, at least two persons required to operate a Megger. Second one, accuracy is not up to level. Third one, requires stable placement for operation. Fourth one, unstable placement leads to error. Fifth one, requires high care and safety. Now we are going to discuss applications of Megger. First one, it is used to measure electrical leakage in wire. Second, it is used to measure insulation resistance. Third one, important application is to measure earth. Fourth one, used to cable fault test and diagnosis. And fifth one, relay and protection testing. So next we are going to discuss hot wire instrument. So the construction of hot wire instrument is shown in the figure. The current to be measured is passed through fine platinum iridium wire. The wire is stretched between two terminals. A second wire is attached to the fine wire at one end and to a terminal at other end. A thread is attached to the wire, passes over the pulley and fixed to a spring. So when a current is passed through the fine wire, it gets heated and expands. The expansion is taken up by a spring. This causes a pulley to rotate and pointer to deflect, indicating the value of current. The expansion is proportional to heating effect of current. So next we are going to discuss the advantages of hot wire instrument. First one, it can be used on both AC and DC supplies. Second, unaffected by stray magnetic field. Third one, simple in construction and operation. Next, disadvantages is first one, so wire takes more time to heat. Second, high power consuming. Third one, zero adjustment is required frequently. And fourth one is unstable due to stretching of wire. So next we are going to discuss what do you mean by wattmeter. So wattmeter is an instrument used to measure power. The circuit to measure power using wattmeter is shown in the figure. So it consists of two coils, that is pressure coil, it is written as PC, and a current coil which is written as CC. The current coil is connected in series with ammeter and pressure coil is connected in parallel with voltmeter. So wattmeters are of three types. First one, electrodynamometer type, second induction type, and third one is electrostatic type. So now we are going to discuss electrodynamometer type wattmeter. So figure shows the schematic of electrodynamometer type wattmeter. It consists of a moving coil, a fixed coil, a current limiting resistor. The moving coil is connected in series with resistor. The two fixed coils are connected in parallel with each other. The moving coil is placed between two halves of the fixed coils. So when the supply is given, current I1 flows through the fixed coils and current I2 through the moving coil. Both fixed and moving coils are air cooled. Spring control is used. Air friction damping is used. These wattmeters are required with mirror type scale and knife edge pointers. So errors in dynamometer type meters. First one, errors due to pressure coil inductance. Second, errors due to pressure coil capacitance. Third one, errors due to mutual inductance effect. Fourth one, errors because of connections. Fifth one, eddy current errors. Sixth one, stray magnetic field errors. Seventh, error due to vibration of moving system. And eighth one is temperature error. So next we are going to discuss induction type wattmeter. So figure shows the induction type wattmeter. It consists of two electromagnets, upper and lower. The upper magnet has two coils in series wound in such a way that the flux produced by both is in the same direction. This acts as pressure coil. The two coils of the lower magnet are also in series and their flux are in same direction. The induction type wattmeter can handle current up to 100 amperes. The resultant torque to rotate the aluminum disc is proportional to power. Next we are going to discuss the advantages of wattmeter. First one, there is a uniform scale. Second, free from effects of stray magnetic fields. Third one, free from frequency error. Fourth one, full scale deflection of 300 degree, hence long and open scale. So next disadvantages are First one, accuracy is affected by variation in frequency and temperature. Second, more weight. Third one, more power consuming. And fourth one is suffers temperature errors. And last point is errors in wattmeter. So first one is error due to capacitance in BC circuit. Second, error due to stray field. Third one, error due to eddy current. So now we are going to discuss induction type energy meter. The schematic diagram of induction type energy meter is shown in the figure. It consists of two electromagnets M1 and M2. M1 is excited by the line current and is called series magnet. The other magnet is referred as shunt magnet and is connected across the supply line and carries the current proportional to the supply voltage. Thank you, students.